Okay, so we finished this unit. We finished all the notes, so we're going to review for a quiz or a test. Okay, number 1, CDs are similar to savings accounts because of which of the following? So we're trying to determine how CDs are similar to savings. Okay, do they both have a high interest rates? Okay, CDs have a higher interest rate than savings, so that would not be correct. B, they have a fixed term. Okay, CDs have a fixed term like 1 year, 2 years, 6 months. Savings, just as long as you have the savings account opened at the bank, it continues. So it wouldn't be that. C, they have a fixed rate. CDs have a fixed rate for the term of the time that you have it in the bank. So that wouldn't be it. Savings accounts do not. D, they accrue interest. So CDs accrue interest and savings accounts also accrue interest. So it's D. Okay, number 2, savings accounts are like money market accounts because of which of the following? So we're trying to determine why savings accounts are like money market accounts. A, they have a limited number of withdrawals. B, they have a low rate of return. C, they have a high minimum balance requirement. D, check writing is authorized. Okay, on money market accounts, they have a limited number of withdrawals. They don't have a low rate of return. They do have a high minimum balance required, and check writing is authorized. On a savings account, they do have a limited number of withdrawals. They have a low rate of return. They don't have a high minimum balance required in a savings account, and you can't write checks on a savings account. So the answer would be A. Both savings account and money market accounts do have a limited number of withdrawals. So that is the only one of these that both characteristics apply to savings and checking. Okay, number 3. Unlike both Roth IRAs, traditional IRAs have which of the following characteristics? So we're trying to determine what traditional IRAs have that Roth IRAs don't. Okay, so A, restricts the amount of cash which can be contributed. So both Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs do restrict the amount that you may be able to contribute based on your tax bracket. B, allows individuals to save for retirement. Okay, they both allow you to save for retirement. Has tax benefits. Okay, both Roth IRAs and traditional IRAs have tax benefits. Both of them allows you to save on your taxes, your income taxes. D, requires taxes to be paid on interest. Okay, the traditional IRA does require you to pay taxes on the interest you own, but a Roth IRA does not. So the answer is D, requires taxes to be paid on interest. Traditional IRAs do, Roth IRAs do not. Okay, number 4, we talked a little bit about mutual funds. Mutual funds can be described as which of the following? So which one of these describes a mutual fund? A, it comes in 2 types, common and preferred. Okay, that is not correct because stocks come in 2 different types, common and preferred. They're professionally managed, provides ownership in a company, provides cushion for unforeseen financial conditions in an emergency. Okay, the answer is B, they're professionally managed. C would not be correct because that describes a stock. You're buying ownership in a company. Provides cushion for unforeseen financial conditions in an emergency. That would be an emergency fund, something that you would put in a savings account to save for an emergency. Number 5, CDs are a common way to save money and are offered by most financial institutions. In this instance, CD stands for which of the following? Okay, this should be easy. It's C, Certificate of Deposit. That's what it stands for, Certificate of Deposit. Okay, number 1, short-term goals cover a time period of 1 to 2 years. Okay, short-term goals. Short-term goals are anything 1 year or below. Long-term goals are anything a year and over. So this statement would be false because short-term goals are 1 year or less. Okay, number 2. Budgeting finances requires calculating what and what. Okay, you want to know on your budget how much money you have coming in and how much money you have going out. So calculating income and expenses would be the correct answer because income is how much money you have coming in from your paychecks, allowance, any sources of money that you're getting, and expenses are anything that you're spending money on. So budgeting finances requires calculating income and expenses. Number 3, what explains how a person changes financial position, earnings, consumption, and savings throughout the life cycle? Is it the financial evolution, money life cycle, portfolio growth, or family life cycle? We talked a lot about this in the first chapter of this unit. It was family life cycle. That's the 8 stages of the family life cycle. There's 8 stages. The first one is single with no kids, and then we go on to married with no kids, and then married with dependents or children. So it's the family life cycle. Okay, number 4. Budgets assist in reorganizing finances to reduce or increase what? Okay, so when you're doing a budget, you're trying to reorganize your finances, so you're wanting to reduce what? You're wanting to reduce how much money you spend. So debt on C would be the correct answer because you're trying to reduce your debt, which your debt is all of the money that you're spending or what you owe, and you are trying to increase your savings. So the goal is to decrease your debt so that you'll have money at the end of the month to save. So it's C, debt and savings. Okay, number 5. If income exceeds expenses, which of the following is recommended? So if you have more money coming in at the end of the month than you have going out, which is a good thing, what would you do? A, you would increase income sources. B, go on vacation. C, decrease income sources. Or D, research investment and savings options. The correct answer is D. You want to try to save. If you have more money left over at the end of the month, then you have some extra money to save. You could go on vacation, but the smartest thing to do would be D, research investment and savings options. Number 6, anyone can open a 401k savings plan, true or false? Okay, the only way that you can get a 401k savings plan is if you work for a company that sponsors it. It's a company-sponsored account, so the answer is false. You can't go into the bank and open one yourself. You have to work for a company that sponsors it. Okay, number 7, which of the following is not true of a Roth IRA? Okay, A, it can be withdrawn at any time. That is correct. On a Roth IRA is different than a traditional IRA. You can withdraw it at any time without a penalty. B, applies a 10% tax penalty on any withdrawals made before the age of 59 and a half. This is not true either. You can withdraw a Roth at any time. A traditional IRA, you would get a 10% penalty if you withdraw it before you're 59 and a half. C, does not require taxes paid on the interest. Okay, this is true. So the answer is C. You don't have to pay taxes on the amount of interest that you earn. Unlike a traditional IRA where you do not with the Roth IRA. Okay, number 8, common stock differs from preferred stock in which of the following ways? A, voting rights, B, exchange rates, C, callable features, or D, liquidity. Okay, on common stock, you are allowed voting rights. On preferred stock, you are not. Only on common stock do you have voting rights. So the answer is A, voting rights. Okay, number 9. What kind of account has a higher rate of return, but what kind of account has a lower required minimum balance? Is it a savings money market or money market savings? Okay, money market has a little bit higher rate of return. A savings account has a lower required minimum balance. So it's a savings account has a higher rate of return, a money market account has a higher rate of return, but a savings account has a lower required minimum balance. So the answer is B, money market savings. Okay, number 10. Which of the following accurately describes stocks? A, employee-sponsored retirement benefit plans. That is incorrect. Savings accounts which include tax benefits. It's not a savings account. Investments providing ownership of public companies. Or D, contributions for the government required of people. That's not it. It's when you buy stock, you are buying into ownership of the company. When you buy shares of stock, you are buying into ownership of the company. So it's C, investments providing ownership of public companies.